praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who has enabled us to congregate again with the cardinal objective of discussing how best we can actualize our good Islamic fundamentals when it comes to having a good family setup. Now today, I want us to discuss about family involvement when it comes to the initial stage of trying to build up a family. That is the dating one now. Now we understand family is crucial. Family makes us, family defines us, family influences us directly and indirectly. Family has much impact when it comes to what we are today. The question I have is, with that reality of the family now, do you need it? Like when you're trying to start the journey with your future wife, with your future husband, do you need family to be there from the start? Do you need them to know the details of everything that is happening? Yes or no? And to what extent, by the way? And what are their limitations? It is a very sensitive concern because our culture describes it in a different way, because it's like the society is having a way of pushing away family from the struggles and then you remember the family when the dust is now settled. Your father has no clue about your exes. For some reason you're innocent when you're with him. It's only your friends that actually know what is happening. The same applies with the sisters. Your mother and father has no clue about the drama you're going through and so on. Is it supposed to be that way, or that is my concern? Should we start with the gents, or the question is, do you need family to get involved? Okay, family is actually vital. Do you need family to get involved in your story from the start? The answer is yes. How far? Would you like them to be part of the journey? And what would be your definition of family? Who are we talking about? Are we talking about your parents? Are we talking about your sisters, brothers? Are we talking about your family, friends? Are we talking about the guardians who actually are titled as family and so on? Yes, that is it. We start with the sisters. Gents, we start with you. Please. Yes. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We thank Allah for the opportunity of life and for having enabled us to gather here to get some knowledge in our religion. First of all, we all know that in our families, we have our best friends. And that best friend sometimes can be your dad, it can be your mother, or even your brothers. So to me, to some extent, I believe before starting any relationship with someone, at least you should have that. It should be a brother maybe to me. I first of all tell my brother about it, so that in case of anything, I have someone to tell that this girl has done me this.
What do you tell your brother?
First of all, I tell him that my brother, I saw some kagal there. Yes. Like I saw her nikakola chinekankuba, and I'm willing to set up something with her. So in that regard, nembeera nga kale kanjite backup. Yes.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Kakati, as you're telling this brother of yours, do you tell him to seek what he thinks about this kagal, or you tell him for him to approve this kagal for you?
For the two options you've said, there's nothing like that. I just tell him,
just amanye.
Just in case of any shit, better no muntu gwe solo gamba. You remember the other kagal ke nakugambako?
You don't cry alone.
Yes.
You see, I've really liked that now bitanisa okunyumira. Kiba kitegeeza it is even possible for someone to inform you about their story, not to actually seek what you think about it, but just to create that social supportive circle in case something happens, someone knows, and someone is going to give them a shoulder. Perfect. Sheikh Ismail, yes. Sheikh Ismail. After Sheikh Ismail, the two brothers, then we switch to the sisters.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
About the issue of maybe informing the family, I think have to specify it. It's not that every person in the family has to know. And it is surrounded with the time they have to know. They have to know, or they have to get informed in different time intervals. Maybe if and look into the issue of being worth. Is the person you're informing worth to be informed? He or she, the mind he's having, will it be able to carry what you're telling them? The back of it, you have to find out the issue or the reason behind your telling them. So I'm talking to my dad. Why am I talking to him about this issue? To support me, maybe financially, to inform the rest of the family members, or I'm talking to my sister about my issue about the person I've got.
By supporting you financially, you mean the father giving you some money to take her out?
No. Like, because the goal is marriage, so the father can give you some support. Yeah. So maybe informing the sister. Most of the issues when we are informing the family, we are looking for clarity or their perception towards the people we've got. Bamulabye batya. You get?
Okay.
I have things that I prioritize in the person I'm getting. Ate bayinza okuba nga bossi be bamwetaagamu. So ne batandika okumunafuya, nange ne ntandika omulaba nga munafuya. Nze byenjagala mukyala wange mbiraba byebyo bimmatiza. By the way, mpozi nga bya nsimbi naye baaligenza okumanya nga we are just informing them about the marriage. Okujjako maybe dad ne boolaba nti basaanidde. Most of our families, they're not married. So I'm informing my brother. Talina na kirowoozo kyakuwasa naye gwe neebuuzaako aclarify ng'omuntu gwe njagala okuwasa. So buuza omuntu omukyala.
Kituufu.
So I'm asking maybe my mom is not in good terms with my dad.
Mwana gwe weegendereza.
Abantu abatasaanidde kubuuzibwa. So osooka n'olondamu naddira obagamba. Olweyetaaga okutegeezebwako nga byonna wabimaliriza. Takyalina kyakuza bali. Olweyetaaga okutegeezebwako nga you're going to make a decision to be guided.
Okay. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. What Sheikh Ismail has done is to categorize parents too. We have stubborn parents, we have good parents, we have serious parents. Now, if your parents is the stubborn one, chances are high that even when you're referring to where you learn morality from, on a sad note, some people don't even quote their parents. Now, you need to also understand, that is a good point, you need to understand where you're picking that from. Good. Sisters, we don't have any, we utilize this side. Checho. Let me have a minute with the brother, a minute and the last brother there. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ku mulamu oguliwo nze nga nze Rakibu Waibi nze ndaba tekiri necessary.
Abazali tobagamba?
Nedda. Nze nga nze embeera nga yenze, there's a time to inform them. But when you are still dating, ndaba tekyetaagisa. Ndabagamba nga to come just to approve. Maybe twadde mu dating, tukoze agreement. Kubanga marriage is a contract between two individuals. Nze ne mukyala wange. Fo tulina okukola agreement. Either agenda beera wange ayitawo. Sebo nabagamba je tugenda beera wamu. Kikadde kena bagambira mu just come and let's approve. Ndaba kikyetaagisa. Kwajukira abazadde abamu babeera ne family issues. Nta family eyo mpoza ate fulani what and they discourage you. Ate go omuntu oba omwagadde. Shegedde. Then gamani salwa. Nzo omugamba ate naye nga ate. Shegedde bulungi. Kwajukira sinza naye abasigadde mba munabayita just come and prove.
Bategeezaako butegeeza.
Yes, temazima sandiso.
Okay. MashaAllah. Fikum barakallah. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's just extend to the second last brother and then the brother last one and then we check the sisters too. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
When we are selecting the partners, we must know that they are doing distance, there are sexual desires, and community desires in the relations. Because to parents, so we are dating so from yesterday, an instant is needed to take my mother
to involve them.
And I'm having an example. I'm having one day where I was talking with him. And then he had things that looked at him. But that's what I have to say is because Osanga 40 years in marriage, so they have experience. But one time was telling us a revelation. Now, you people, during your stage, there's too much love. I told you something exists. Mistakes is a must. So one so there is the location is the community management so we are taking the master of our and I want you to believe that the leader of Kumokupa katika nikawa ile ya mambo
we involve them.
When it goes to they have love, because tomorrow we are going to find challenges. She can analyze me, psychology, I got a study, and then what me, then another is still come. So,
okay. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The last brother, barakallahu fikum. That was a good one. Yes. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. They should be involved.
I think we will have and this is because I need their experience in partner.
Okay. MashaAllah. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, sisters, I think 2 representatives. Do we have any? Yes, sister. Or Tio, there are even more than 2. Please. And I think family involvement with his sisters is a bit sensitive as compared to you, eh? Yes. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
First of all, when I informed my mother or my father, she would have, like, when I informed my mother and I decided to bring the man or the boyfriend up to date, up to start dating me. She as a friend, she can tell him at any things, maybe what to do and not what to do.
The mother?
The mother, and this thing, whereby here in Uganda, my idea,
Ground Vidalamu. You don't see yourself informing your mother or father?
I feel like I should, but that African
Doesn't allow.
doesn't allow.
Okay.
But it would be good for parents to be our friends, because in that, we are like, oh, okay, when we start dating, you know, the love there, then we be like, the boy will be like, no, you know, my kids will be that. But at least when you consult or you inform about your mother, there will be some restrictions. And then it will maybe prevent something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
MashaAllah. Barakallahu fikum. Yes. Yes. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
To me, I believe my father also be motivated.
Sure.
So, me telling him about someone I'm going to date, if he gets to see him, he can interview him, and he gets to know if that person is a good person for me or not. Because one thing I know is that my father can be biased over something. And then another thing, we are dating probably. For us, our parents are strict. Whereby you're not just going to move out to other places without informing your partner. And how are you going to tell me that you're going where? If you know that you're dating someone, you know that probably in your relationship, there will be some slight permission for you to can move as long as he knows the person. And then,
Okay.
to the other extent, I also don't feel like it would be better because we've grown in families whereby we see our parents being accused and everything from the side of the in-laws. So, on the other side, I would see it as a good thing, but again, I would say that I would still stand at the point of, I would tell my dad.
Okay. So do you tell your dad to just let him know, or you let him know, inform him, because you also believe in his authority? Wakugamba nti omwana oyo muveeko. Love is love. Do you disobey him, or you find ways of? Together. Okay. Alaikum salam. Do we have a sister? Yes, the last one, yes. Yes. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're welcome. Thank you.
So to me, it's the best gift of the world because if the world is to stand, it has to stand because of the family. And if it's to collapse, it has to collapse as a family. So family involvement in dating, to my side, nowadays, it's to a better extent. Because like when I'm to correct one of my colleagues, African traditionally, organizing our culture, it allows, or it was like a must that it's the parents who were supposed to date for their children. Because those days there were no like our parents could get access to other families, so they could like maybe have some discussion when they see that there is a boy in a certain family who is good, they connect us, but nowadays as if AI has spoiled us. We have even like reached to an extent of consulting AI about marriage. So when you just get somebody, now when like I look at people who consider that maybe even smartness is a quality for marriage, I really see babies preparing for marriage.
Not you.
So mostly now like on the side of my family when I'm to involve at least my parents, because what I know, my parents cannot wish bad to me. Because I have an example, I tried to consult from my auntie. We were like just having a story. So I was like, auntie, tell me about marriage. She told me, oh, do you want to get married? You're finished. Do you know hell on earth? That's marriage. Because now for her, she's not married. Like she because when she was at 45, now she's approaching 80. She has never got married again. So I was like, why are you telling me that marriage is dead? She told me, I got married to the other uncle of yours, but to the other bastard. The way he could jump with this one, the other one, so he wrote me secrets. I'll never get married again. I said, oh, sorry, auntie. So I was like, if you're to consult, at least you have to be so selective. But let us always involve our parents, because even our prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, was involved in the dating of our daughter, Ali. And I'm not mistaken.
Yes, correct. MashaAllah. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Barakallahu fikum. أدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Family involvement in dating. Allow me lay a foundation of this lecture by first of all discussing what family is. Family is what I'm saying here. Family defines us all. The ideal situation of family is it should be a source of pride within whoever comes from a family. Now, if you're here, whatever place you call family is supposed to actually, you're supposed to be proud of that place. Now, that is the ideal situation. That basically means family is going to define you. Family is actually going to influence you. I'm starting with the ideal situation. I'm talking about a serious father who actually cares about his daughters. I'm talking about a serious mother Who cares about her sons? Now that is family. I'm talking about a family that is not picking happiness when they are giving out their daughter out. They are giving their daughter out because they know that's nature, but still they would like to wish to have more time with her. So that is the ideal situation. Family influences us. We are just excited, we are just a lost generation that is trying to put this reality down, but like it or not, family influences us. If you're having a healthy relationship between you and your father, you and your mother, it only takes a statement, directly or indirectly, and you're going to do what they want. Because for some reason, they have earned that respect from you. Now that kind of influence, a positive influence, it's not something you won't address. It is something that you should be afraid about. Some of the issues I normally think about, and I'm like, kana akavuyo kafaako omulembe guno. Mutandise n'okufuna abaana abalinze sorry from their parents. Do you know what it means for your 70-year-old dad to sit you down n'emyaka gya 3 akugambe sorry ogikozesa eki? Because obviously he has made mistakes as he's raising you and she's raising you. Obviously every parent makes a mistake as they are raising you. But because of the respect, because of the family title, you were not designed as a morally upright person to pick pride when your parent is actually down and begging for you. Now that is the ideal situation. But because we are living together, the world has taught us that there is another side of unserious parents. There is a mother who is actually having an issue, a serious biased issue, with whoever calls him or her mother. Just like there is a father who is very unserious and he's tested that whoever calls him dad is actually not proud of him. Now those are now cases now that are only deviating from the ideological bit of it. The ideal situation is there, but even these deviations are also realities. Now, when we are addressing family, the guidance needs to be that inclusive. What are we talking? What do we mean by actually family? Because if we do not address all these realities, we are going to get lost, because maybe you're having a very healthy relationship for family and you, that is something very okay. But we have very dramatic families. Do you know that we have a father now? Your father go to the kokati. Omanjali. He is a very old man, purposeless, achayenda. For some reason, you're the son who used to even buy him some of the contraceptives in senior 6. Do we have those fathers or do we don't have? Of course we have them. If we are living in a situation where people become parents by mistake, expect that drama after 20 years. And this is what we are living in right now. Someone gets to become a parent who is having a daughter worth giving out for marriage, and he has never experienced what realistically marriage is. It's very possible. Now, when we are defining family, that is a reality. The same applies with mothers now. You have a mother that you can't actually refer to when it comes to morality. Maybe you have a young daughter or maybe son who is 1, 2, 3 years, naye omuswaza tannaba nakutegeera. The world is actually breeding useless fathers and useless mothers to be. When we are having mothers and fathers who are actually prioritizing their own selves over people they have brought to earth, now there is a very big problem when it comes to parenthood. That is the drama I'm trying to highlight. And when we are talking about family involvement, we are talking about all those realities. We are talking about a family that is actually healthy and a family that is having that drama. Now, the biggest mistake is if at all you just give out guidance without actually clarifying what family are you talking about, then we might get lost in the game. But if at all we align and we are like, we are talking about such a family, and when it comes to such a family, we need to approach it like this, then it's actually something that is going to help us. Islam comes to put relevance to our families, most especially when it comes to you creating another family out of them. Because we have it from the Islamic doctrine that is actually the business of your fathers, the business of your mothers, specifically to make sure you don't ashame their dignity by you marrying wrong. No culture has ever waived not minding the business of who you're going to marry and who you're going to get married to. Now, when we come with that reality, it helps us. And when we are asking ourselves, when are we supposed to actually consider family? Informing them about this step. When are you going to inform them? How are you going to inform them? What exactly are you going to inform them? And what actually amazes me is we have our realities here that are dictated by our customs and cultures here. For example, our culture here, those from the Bantu realities, those who are not from the Bantu realities, maybe you will educate us what happens on your side. For the Bantu tribes, when you inform your father and mother about that today, what rings in their minds is you are done with the struggle and you're presenting a candidate. Actually, your fathers and mothers, Baba Vako, they don't even have it for an issue nti balina n'obbalowoleza. Waliwo empala naawe etategeerekeka. Temutufunira, mutufunire, mutuleke, temujja bitegeera. Now, your father is asking you, a university student, kiki ekitambula mu maaso ezo? Waliwo ekitambula? It is your father now asking. He is confused, you're also confused, like, who is going to help who? The same applies with the mother here. Ideally, you would have been there, more atamatoke, you're cooking food, and then your mother is like, oh, is something happening? Are you trying to cook something? Involve her into the journey. For some reason, for some reason, bakuchaye, heartbreak, you lock yourself in the door, in the room, you cry, and then you come out, the eyes are red. Your mother asks you, what's the problem? I don't know, red eyes are paining me. Like, for some reason, she has no clue about what is happening. Now, eventually, after some time, you end up bringing someone after your struggles, and then they're like, Alhamdulillah, they are tabling someone to us, and let us do our play now. They go and they talk with other families and so on, and then that's the marriage stage when it's actually late. They can't actually help you in guiding you what would have been done. Now, that's why we need some of these discussions to talk about, because we have unique challenges, Bantumwe, and if you understand that we have unique challenges, we need thinkers. No one is going to help you to think about all those realities if we don't bring our brains together to squeeze out how best are we going to approach this reality with the drama that comes with today's families. Some people don't actually have families for father and mother, but they are still alive. And whoever they call family is not actually biologically attached to them for their own personal reasons, but for some reason they value when they guide them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala educate us and actually alert us about our reality so that we are guided well through it. Now, that is how Islam actually addresses the attachment to family and how it actually defines us. The second point is how you treat your family introduces you to the way you're going to treat your spouse and to the way you're going to be treated. In most cases, when you get involved with a person who is strongly attached with family, it is a sign of responsibility. If you're trying to get attached with this gentleman and they don't have family in their talk, why are you even still talking to him? For God's sake, he's the head of the family. By family, I mean someone who is an elder and he respects when he talks. You don't need a man who only listens to himself. That excitement of arrogance and so on, you don't need them for husbands. You need a man who has a father, who he doesn't debate with at times, just because he has gone to school and maybe the father didn't go to school. Now, when you're actually trying to build a story, the involvement can actually start from how he is attached with family. Maybe the father, maybe the mother, maybe the siblings, maybe the uncle, maybe whatever, wherever he calls home. Maybe he's an orphan, but he has a guardian he listens to. That is the point. Because if he is not stable there, who is going to talk to him when you start a family? Now, the attachment of him with family actually speaks voices. The same applies with her. Her attachment with family is something. Your girlfriend started staying alone. P7, she's in boy quarters. Even when she's talking about her family, abakolimira bonna bonna, like kuva ku taata, mama, baganda be, ngai batamwagala yekka yekka. Are you sure you're the only lucky one in this world who is going to understand her? If the 15 people that she has lived with for 25 years don't want to do anything with her. Now you see how the indirect involvement is going to help you actually. Now when you're trying to discuss how she's actually attached to family, means something. And that's how influential family gets when it comes to the Islamic wisdom. We've not yet even gotten to a point of kati now with parents here are going to come, oyogerezani, omukwanyi otya. No, just before that, how do they relate with their families? Like that sense of ownership. Do they feel, do they have that family attachment or not? If the answer is yes, then it's something okay. The family is already involved because it is actually helping you to find trust in whoever you're going to start that family with. I think that opens the door with the drama that comes with some of our families. I don't want to be judgmental in this respect, because you will find some people who are like, when you find a boy who is a product of a single father, a single mother, that is another girl who is putting on a trouser. When you find a girl who is a product of single mother or single father, that is a girl who... Some single fathers and some single mothers are serious parents. I'm a single father, I'm a single... You're a parent. Simple. And some parents understood their assignment. They have invested a lot into making sure they are breeding some good people that are relatable. The point I'm trying to drive at is, in case, because there are even those unserious single parents. Akuzizza omwana omulenzi, akuzizza omwana omuwala. Of course, now, that family breeds something. If at all you're not a clever someone who understands that it's tufchirindi, there was a divorce between my mother and father. It was their reality. Tebinkwatako. I need to start another journey. then you're doing justice to your own self. If at all you're not going to understand that, then you're going to fall victim in the long journey. Family is already influencing you indirectly. Now we really have to consider that. Thirdly, Islam has it that family helps you to scrutinize your partner and spouse, most especially when you inform them at the right time. The mistake we do is we inform our families nga tebalina kye bayinza kukola. You need to find solace in your family if at all you're actually blessed with a good, well-coordinated family. Find someone to talk to at least to help you scrutinize someone that you're going to start another family with. Some of your parents have stayed in marriage for over 40, 50 years. Are you sure you're too clever not to listen to them? Of course, no, it's a wrong move. We are failures when it comes to actually sustaining a marriage, and those guys are beating us. But why are they beating us? Basigaddeyo bakaddewa n'amagezi gaabwe naffe wetukola n'obusiru bwaffe. For some reason, our families are failing and their families are growing stronger. Your friends temutegeera nnyo ge mazima naye mwewa amagezi for some reason omusajja bamukwata bwe bati bamusaba bwe bati. No one has handled a man for over 10 years. The last time she or he tried to handle a partner was in a cohabitation relationship. Weekend, yeah, 1 week, 3 weeks, and then for a month, maybe almost 6 months, and then they end it. Now, for some reason, she has to sit down and start giving advice. Please, a man, if you handle a man like this, he will smile. Come on, you're not even certified to knowing all men. You're only experiencing that one covered man of yours. Please use that resource of your parents. If at all you happen, even when your parent made a mistake, he's the right person to give you that mistake for a reason. He's going to tell you, and this is why you should be this and this and this. You will pick lessons. Now, Islam came and gave actually advice to us. You remember the Prophet when he was trying to advise these ladies, Not even these ladies, but the fathers and the mothers of them. How does the tradition flow? In ja'akum man tardawna dinahu wa khuluqahu. The Prophet was addressing the fathers that when they come to you, when they march to you, those that you're pleased with their character and their religiosity, then give your daughters out. The Prophet was not actually trying to only give out the authority to the parents, but he was respecting what the parents have and their daughters don't have. That is exposure. Way back, the parents were well exposed as compared to their daughters. A morally upright daughter is naive, not too much exposed, just like a father. The father used to march around and so on, even here culturally. The fathers were involved to actually suggest, and they were like, okay, because their social circle is wide, and maybe the daughter's social circle was. Now, because she was not well exposed, she's too naive, that's why the liberty was given, the right was given to the dad to make sure she's not being manipulated because of what she doesn't know. Now that's why people, when we come today and we are like, bannange obusiraamu bulina engeri gye bumanyiramu abawala ate dda babafuniranga, tebabafuniranga ye gwe atasoma. Because no one was like, I'm not happy because of, they were not actually finding for them husbands. They were suggesting for them. Because last time we checked, Islam doesn't allow that imposition and forcing girls in marriage. Now that is the good part of that. However, today it's something different. Now that basically means the skill, the whole exposure that was supposed to be for your dad, chances are you need to have that skill. How many of you are having dads that are seated here? After the session, you're going to discuss, exchange numbers here and there, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam, when your father is not here. Now, that basically means you need to be very clever, not to be manipulated with the naiveness and the overshyness, because they are good at that. If you don't understand that and then you're reciting the tradition of the Prophet, you're going to hit the blockade, because chances are your father can't even text a WhatsApp message saying, I am fine, how are you that side? He or she will take like 5 minutes, only typing that. It doesn't mean that they are dumb. It basically means maybe the levels of exposure, because of the generation, is actually taking them at a high speed. Then you use them where they are resourceful, and you make sure you get the skills that was given to them because of priority, on credit, by the way. And that is the guidance of Islam. Family was built to help. In most cases, when we are talking about to ladies, we are like, of course, make sure you know that. But even when you're a guy, some gentlemen are like, for me, family is not an issue. I can actually even marry when my father doesn't know, when my mother doesn't know. You're only excited. And give birth and start thinking like parents. Do you know what it means, your son to marry and you have no clue about who he's marrying? You are not the owner of your name. You don't even own your own DNA. Your DNA is for your parents. You've not started anything like progeny. Now Islam respects that. Sit down your father. Inform him about it. Let him understand that journey from the start. Because if he does that, it is actually going to help you. When we are talking about family involvement, we are not meaning that they are going to decide and so on. Just find a way of letting them know what is happening in your story. If they can guide you, they will guide you. If they have something to tell you in that respect. Time is not actually our ally, but allow me conclude with the following. Please, it's important to understand each other's family dynamics. Some families are very sensitive about engagements. Some families are very sensitive about who is talking to their girl. And some families are very sensitive about who is going to become a wife to their sons. I remember at some point I told you, when you're getting married, you're not doing anyone a favor. You are a risk. If you marry wrong, a wife, you can marry someone who is going to destabilize your whole family with your siblings. Don't you really think they have a right to understand who is actually going to become part of the family? If you actually marry wrong, you're going to get a husband who is going to discoordinate you from your family. Get married, change the line, who is show me all your brothers and cousins, show me like everything. If you're getting out, or maybe your father is dying and you get out, please, for some reason, you need to call me. If I don't answer, you wait for me. It is possible. Don't you really think your family has a right to understand how troublesome this human being is before you even get attached to him? That is what Islam comes to teach us. Now we need to understand those different sensitive engagements. In most cases, when some gentlemen are trying to give out their point, they are like, baganyo tu abana abawala. abazadde bali expensive batulemesa abaana abawala. Back into your mind, you think you're doing them a favor. The day you're going to be a father to a daughter is the day you're going to understand lwaki bakukalubiriza ng'otwala omwana omuwala. She doesn't have a family that is going to be a yes family whenever she talks. She has a family that also has it as a responsibility to protect her from smiling faces like yours. Now, when you're marching to her dad, and the dad is not over smiling with you, he's basically being a dad at first. When you win his trust, you're going to laugh together. What's the problem with that? The same applies with you. As you're marching to his family, he's trying to introduce to you to his family. You need to win their trust definitely, because if you don't, it might be an issue now. You see how sensitive family now comes in. And that opens the door to the in-law realities. You are in a relationship with someone like for 3 good years. But your mother doesn't know this girl, for God's sake. The only person that knows the girl is your brother. You're both immoral, you're both not serious, you're both too childish. Come on. Don't even waste time. The reason as to why you inform your mother as soon as you get committed to her, not because you want to fake it, but you don't want her to be a stranger, your wife to be a stranger to your family after the marriage contract. Chances are you're going to spend the social events together, she needs to be around, and she has no friend in your family. You're the only one that she knows there. It's not something good. The same applies with you. Your brothers don't know this man. 3 years now down the road. Your mother has no clue, your father has no clue. For some reason, oyiri abasajja bekyanga. Now, after 4 years, he's now serious. He marries you. Taina Wombos, he's not a friend, not to a brother, not to a father, not to your mother, but for some reason, he is the father of the grandkids of your parents. Now, those are all realities. If we can assess all that, it helps us to be mindful about our families. And we have 2 case studies as I'm winding up, and we need to copy maybe a lesson out of that. A sister highlighted it here. Prophet's involvement within the daughter's dating situation. Let us start with Zainab. Zainab was the first daughter of the Prophet. Prophet was actually involved even before Islam. Now that basically means the involvement of your parents within your story, if it should happen, it is not a religious thing, it's a social responsibility thing. Now the prophet before he even becomes a prophet, he's actually involved into who is going to marry Zainab, a gentleman known as Abul As. And then at the end of the day, Prophet gave out the daughter. The same applies with Ali ibn Abi Talib. Prophet was involved because he knew Fatima was a very shy young girl, and he had to give out Fatima to someone that has won the trust. With the reality that actually Fatima was being approached by many of the big scholars, big Sahabas, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and the Prophet was like, no, you won't manage my daughter. And Fatima was like, exactly, they won't manage me. When Ali came, Prophet knew the test, because that is actually the relationship between the dad and daughter. That was the ideal situation now. Si katemba olwaliro where you can't even talk with your father, you can't talk with your mother, you have issues with your family, but idealistically, That is how it is. Your parents pick interest in that. When we get to a reality where parents can actually get involved into helping you out, who to get married to and why to get married to them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us that understanding. I would like to wind the session before we get to the questions with two issues. Issue number one, parents Islamically have limited authority because when you get to a point of starting a family, you are an adult. Limited authority, I mean, if at all they are trying to misuse that authority, then it is actually grabbed from them. Now that is some good news to people who might be tested by stubborn parents, because we don't allow marriage that starts with that forceful engagement. You must marry him, you must marry her, and so on. No, it has to be within the consensus of whoever is going to get married to the other. Now, even when we are advocating for family involvement in such a journey that is actually vital in your life, you should actually get to know that. But then you shouldn't be stubborn when it comes to actually undressing their authority as quick before actually giving them a chance. Secondly, please, it is not a war. If at all Allah has given you that healthy relationship with your families, it's okay. Involve them for the goodness of your family, for the betterment of whatever you're trying to build. If at all you consider that, it is going to help you to have a beautiful family in the future, and it will actually contribute to the stability of your family. Because when it comes to actually recommending potential partners, your family can actually help you in that. A simple case study here. How many are single in the gents who are here? Just mutidde kuswala naye ndowooza mwenna okuggyako abantu batonotono. Ndaba muganda wange Sheikh Abubakari, kakiiko wano wonna Kafumbo, nange ali eno mu maaso. At this side, how many of you are married, sisters? Katonda wange. Now, Otio, this is already a market now. I don't know why you guys are good at wasting time. Start stories, start families, and be fathers and mothers. Like realistically, something beautiful. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable you. Because some of the reasons as to why parents are given priority to actually help you in finding potential partners for you, because of the many people they know. Now, the agents of your fathers have daughters too. True or false? But for some reason, batuvako ge mazima. And this society is contributing a lot to people going immoral than people being serious to start up families. There was a time where sleeping with a girl illegally would actually lead to either having AIDS or this girl getting pregnant, and the whole society would consider you a bad person. Time came when contraceptives were advocated for. Actually za laisi ne government eziteekako musolo mungi. Now it is very, very, very cheap if you want to sleep with someone to dodge AIDS and to dodge pregnancy. True or false? True. Now even the society is too much sexualized. It doesn't care. Obo fumbirwa, obo wasa, it doesn't care. But it knows you're sleeping with someone. But if you're going to sleep with someone, just make sure you're not sick. Make sure you're putting on this. Make sure it's like this, so that you don't get pregnant, but don't get married, because marriage is easy. That's what we are doing. Now, your parents your parents are not guiding you. The society is not guiding you deliberately. And you're not also guiding yourselves. Now, at the end of the story, you will die a single person. You will die with your kids on the back. You will die with your kids in the what? In the stomach. And then you die and you go in Jannah like that. But please, don't die when you have the ability of being a father and mother, and then you just waste time like that. It's not something good. So these halakas are here. It is a platform. You're here, they are there, but still you go out without actually starting. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all to the best. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us understanding families when it comes to actually starting up our own families. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala distance us from stubborn families, because when you have a stubborn family, then it might be a problem to you. By stubborn families, I mean a family that brought you here and the family you're going to marry from, or maybe a family you're going to get married from. Yes, family is very sensitive because it can actually even create issues for you in marriage. If your wife is not in straight line with your mother, that is not a battle your wife is going to win. Just muchali bagole. That's the problem. She thinks she can be in the same sentence with your mother. Kata siyo vyo, wamupika nnyo wewezimu. The same applies with you. Omusajja wamupika. For some reason alaba yetaatawo. You're still young kids. Mukyali bakyamufu, mukyali bagole. That is not a battle you need. It is then that you will understand that when your wife is talking about your parents, even when she knows something bad about your parents, she's going to know her limits because of the sensitivity of family. Bukakuvumira taatawo nga mukyala we yamuvuma. That is not romantic. That is not understanding. Amanyiira gye wava. Just keep quiet, osimayiringe, mugambe that is your family. Let me cook for you some water. Weewo na bizibu. The same applies with you. Don't abuse the family of your wife. Nakuyamba, nabasanga muyina ki, what did you have? You used to look at your father, the way he's treating your mother. Yeah, don't. When she's trying to tell you about stuff of her family, smile and say, Inshallah, things will be okay. Get outside. Because when you start being biased and personal, going rough, you don't know what you're playing with. Now, when you understand those realities, it's okay, things move, and you play with marriage politically, and then you end up a winner. But if at all you don't, then it's not a battle you need. So you should also understand what battle you're going to pick, around who. What about these battles of the siblings, Balam? Can we handle those battles now? Your brothers don't like your wife. Hey, ask a question. Why doesn't your brothers like your wife? Why? Maybe you'll ask such a question. Your sisters don't like your wife. As the head of a family, you would like to know why. Why is it like that? The same applies with you. Your husband doesn't like your sisters. Your husband doesn't like your brothers. Drama. May Allah distance us from that drama. Allahumma ameen. Wa barakallahu fikum wa salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.